Hello everybody, welcome back to another Digital Orange video, but today we're actually going to be doing some theorizing. As a matter of fact, we are going to be doing Kira versus Kira. But if you don't understand what I'm saying the Great Murder of Morio, Kira Yoshikage, versus the God of the New World, Light Yagami. So, let's hop right into the video, shall we? Okay, first we need to start off on how they're gonna battle each other and what they're going to do. So, first of all, Light Yagami doesn't have Kira Yoshikage's name yet, since he hasn't even met him yet. Let's just pretend that Kira Yoshikage is taking the place of L. Am I okay? And basically, Kira is trying to find, Kira Yoshikage. Kira Yoshikage is trying to find who this man is because he's killing people, and that's what he's supposed to do. So he's going to try and find him because he's taking his name of being the real Kira. So basically they're fighting on who's the real Kira, if that sounds right. So the next thing we have to talk about is how they're going to fight. So yes, Light can use the Death Note, so all Light has to do is find out Kira Yoshikage's name. And all Kira Yoshikage has to do is basically find where Light lives, and he can just send sheer heart attack there. Or maybe just he can maybe just plant a bomb in his room. I mean, that's what Killer Queen does. So that's what their objective is, but how are they even going to start? Well, let's look back on how Light even met L. So the first encounter Light even made with L is on the news channel when Light killed the wrong person, and L outsmarted Light by showing it in only one region of Japan. So that let L know that Kira was in this region of Japan, which made it really clear for him to find out who was doing this. But would Kira, the Morio serial killer, really be able to do the same thing? Well, no, but he would be able to outsmart him with something else. Okay, so if you've watched Death Note, you would know that L is the top 3 detectives in the entire world. Now, everyone thinks they're different, but L is all 3 of them. He was just in disguise. He told us this in around the middle of the series. And you can flame me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was near the middle of the series where he said he was all three detectives, so he's technically the smartest man alive. Kira? No, he cannot comprehend to that. I mean, he's just a Marin Morial living his own life like it's nothing. But he would maybe find a way, maybe with bites to dust, or maybe he could find the police and find information from them. But for finding Light, it would pretty much be impossible. Light would have to find him. Okay, so I know I said that Kira would need bites the dust to find Light, but then again, I feel like it would be unfair to have a level 1 Light with no experience versing a level 100 experienced Kira Yoshikage. That would seem unfair. So we're talking about Kira Yoshikage, literally only Killer Queen, nothing else, no sheer heart attack, no bites the dust. Just plain old yellow-haired Kira Yoshikage. Now, onto their real interaction where they meet each other. Light somehow finds Kira, and they meet, and for some reason, Kira Yoshikage decides to stay silent and just try and act sort of like he isn't even there. Just, he makes quick glances at him and just tries to not be noticeable. But Light, being intelligent, notices him, and he just is careful around him more, since L wasn't like this. He just straight up said that he was L. But Kira, he's trying for a more tactic way, which just makes him look more suspicious. Now, this really makes me think, who would make the first move? And by that I mean, talking. Just start talking to one another, because they can't just keep glancing at each other. They have to act. I mean, they're both Kiras, and they're both gonna have to fight eventually. So Light decides to make the move, since Kira Yoshikage is acting suspicious. And Light asks him something like, "Oh, why are you staring at me?" Or, "Oh, why are you looking at me? Oh, is something wrong?" And Kira Yoshikage would just say something like, "Oh yeah, there's nothing wrong. I'm fine." And he would just go along with it. But seeing how Kira acts in part 4 really makes him look like the stalker type. Since Kira is real, he's not like Cars or Dio, which are fake. He's real. He's like a serial killer. That's real. And what makes him stalk him is that he's trying, because he knows that this is Kira, or he has a suspicion, just because Light made the first move, which also seemed suspicious. So now they're both onto each other, and they're sort of secret to each other, if you know what I mean. So they're sort of not saying anything to each other. They're mostly trying to keep calm, because they know that something's fishy. Okay, so for this far, I've had a decent understanding of what would happen, but now since these two universes are so different, I'm not 100% sure if this would really happen in the actual story between these two. But from here on, this is what I think would happen. So, once they are sort of suspicious about each other, they would start investigating more. So, Light, he has Misa, right? And yeah, sure, it's not really fair anymore since she has the Shinigami eyes, which she just has to look at Kira. But would Kira think of looking into Misa's back pocket for her phone like Elle did? Yeah, I don't think so. What I think he would do is, this might sound a little weird, but he might take her hand like how he usually does. This is 100% speculation, but it could happen since we've seen Yoshikage Kira. He is a hand lover, okay? He just loves the hands. And basically, I feel like he would take her hand, sort of. And now Light only has himself to trust. And Ryuk, but later he would kill him. So, okay, we get to the part where Light and Kira are sort of handcuffed together. That wouldn't really happen since Light would never get locked up. Kira would never have his own research lab, that giant building which had all of the camera systems and stuff. They wouldn't have that. Kira would just have his normal abode, and he would just have to find Light, which he could probably do. So he would probably, he's a working man, so he probably wouldn't go to school like Elle did, but he could definitely have like an absence from work and follow Light all the way back from school to his home where he could plant the bomb and eventually win. But then again, Light did make that trap which had tricked Elle and the others who are wiring Light's house. But then again, it's a hard thing to discuss, because if Light knew that there was somebody hunting him down, he would definitely move somewhere else for his guaranteed safety. But Kira would keep following him, which could eventually end up to Light just giving up, and Kira would finally follow him and blow him up for the final end. But then again, these two universes are super different, so I'm not sure if that's the real ending, but it's just what I think. And even if Light does survive the explosion, which is highly unlikely, Ryuk did kill him on the last episode, spoiler, but he would probably do the same thing again if he does survive. So I think that would be a win for Kira Yoshikage. But then again, this is just what I think would happen. You can leave below what you think down in the description. But remember, guys, it was all just a theory.